On News Hour tonight, 7 killed, many injured as gunmen attack Plateau community. Seven killed, many injured as gunmen attack Plateau community. Military unmasks a ringleader of Northeast suicide bombings. U.S. announces drug terrorism charges against Venezuelan President Maduro. And on the foreign scene, 14 killed in DR Congo attack by militia-linked Islamic State group. Hello, good evening and welcome to News Hour. Hello, good evening and welcome to News Hour on Trust TV. I am Fatima Ahmed Musa and thank you so much for joining us. Now, we begin with sad news where gunmen reportedly attacked Bong village in Domak district of Kwampan local government area of Plateau State late Friday night, killing 7 people and injuring several others. Eyewitnesses said the assailants stormed the village while residents were asleep, opening fire sporadically. A local resident confirmed that some people remain missing following the attack. This comes just 3 days after a similar assault on Bom community in Chugui Vong district, just south. Danan Cletus Silvanus, press director to the Kwampan Council chairman, said authorities are working closely with security operatives to bring the perpetrators to justice and warned that casualties figures could rise. Efforts to reach Operation Enduring Peace for comments have not been successful. And now we are being joined by our reporter in Jos, Ado Musa, to give us an update on the incident. Ado Musa, thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so what updates can you give us about this incident that happened, given that this is the second attack in 3 days in that particular axis, and what are security operatives saying about the pattern of the violence?
Well, at the moment, the security agencies have not said anything with regard to the pattern of these attacks. We have made several efforts to get their reaction, but we couldn't get anything because I personally inquired from Operation Enduring Peace and the spokesperson of the State Police Command, but I've yet to get any response with regard to what has happened in Kwampan today. We know that usually we do experience this kind of attacks in some of the communities, particularly in the northern part of Plateau, that is in Jos South, Riom, Barikiladi, Basa, Bokos, and Mangu. But then again, we cannot link up this particular, or rather the latest attack to what is happening in the northern part of the state. So the security agencies are yet to say anything with regard to why the incident occurred or who are responsible of launching the attack.
So what immediate action has the Kwampan government, local government, and the state local government taken since the attack happened?
Well, according to the spokesperson of the local government chairman, Mr. Danan Cletus, he said the chairman has visited the community this morning to condole with the residents of the community, especially those who lost their loved ones in the attack. And he also said that the chairman has also assured the residents of the community that he will do everything possible to ensure that the perpetrators of the attack are arrested and brought to book. He also asked them to remain calm, that they have done everything possible to ensure adequate deployment of security agencies in the area, even though some people have fled the community. But he asked them to return as everything is being done to ensure there is enough security in the area to prevent further occurrence of this attack.
So we all know that, when situations like this happen, fear tends to take over the people in those communities. What are there concerns about other reprisal or possible attacks, and what measures are being put in place to avert any bloodshed?
When such attack is experienced or is launched, usually people express concern about reprisal. But the only difference between this one and the one that we have been recording in Plateau State, particularly in the northern part of Plateau State, is that Kompa local government area, which is located in the southern part of the state, has been very peaceful. You hardly hear the incident of this kind of attack where people in the community will just be attacked in the night while they are sleeping. So that is why at the moment we cannot say that, okay, there is any concern about reprisal, because no group has come out to even point finger at any person accusing the group of being responsible of the attack. So at the moment, we don't have this kind of concern because compound has been very peaceful. And like I've said it earlier, the chairman of the local government, he said they have launched a kind of investigation so as to understand why this attack was launched.
So what is the condition of those injured, and does the health facility in those communities have the capacity to handle or treat those people that are injured? And are there any response from any of the security agencies, from the enduring peace, the Had Inkai, any of them? Have they said anything?
Well, according to the spokesperson of the local government chairman, that those who were injured have been taken to the hospital. And he said that the injuries were minor. So the available hospitals they have within the local government area have the capacity to also treat those who were injured in the attack. And like I've said earlier, up to this moment, no security agencies has come out to either see why the incident or rather the attack has happened, or who are those responsible of the attack. So up to this moment, neither the police nor the Operation Enduring Peace issue any statement regarding the incident.
All right, thank you so much, Ado Musa, for contributing on the News Hour, and please stay safe out there. Now move on. Bandits have killed at least 6 persons and abducted several others in separate attacks on Sabon Kwara and Congo communities in Katsina local government area of Kaduna State. The latest attack occurred in the early hours of January 3rd when gunmen invaded Sabon Kwara in Agunu ward, killing 4 residents, including a vigilante member and members of his family, before abducting 2 others. In a related incident, bandits struck Congo community in Kwaturu ward on December 30th during a social gathering, killing 2 persons and injuring others, while several residents were taken away. Residents of the affected communities have described the attacks as distressing and called for urgent security intervention. Police authorities are yet to issue an official response as of press time. Still on a sad situation, 3 people have been killed in a fresh bandit attack on Ungwarneto under Naalma ward in Malumfashi local government area of Katsina State. The attack occurred early Thursday morning when armed bandits stormed the village on motorcycles, shooting indiscriminately. The attackers reportedly told residents they were opposed to ongoing local peace negotiations and vowed to continue attacking communities. 2 people were killed instantly, while a 3rd victim later died at Kwandala Hospital in Malumfashi town. Sources in Ungwarneto said villagers had to seek security reinforcement before conducting burials, as the bandit threatened further attacks if residents gather. Meanwhile, in neighboring Ungwar Galadima, bandits reportedly rustled an unspecified number of sheep on Friday morning and warned of more attacks in the coming days. Residents described the incident as coordinated attacks and are calling on the government to deploy more security personnel particularly in the eastern Malumfashi axis, where attacks have become frequent. Malumfashi local government remains one of the areas worst affected by banditry in Katsina State. Now, the Nigerian military has identified Sharif Umar as the suspected ringleader of a suicide bombing network linked to recent deadly attacks in the northeast, including the December 24th bombing at Gambaru Market Mosque in Maiduguri. The breakthrough followed intelligence-led operations by troops of the Joint Task Force Northeast, Operation Hatinkai, during cordon and search missions in the Kalmari area on December 31, 2025, where 14 suspects connected to suicide bombings were arrested. Investigations revealed that Omar, also known as Yusuf, coordinated recruitment, training, and deployment of suicide bombers and was responsible for organizing a failed attack in Damaturu, Yobe State. Further links were uncovered implicating his wife Yagana Modu and corroborating testimony from his stepdaughter Amina. All suspects remain in custody as security agencies work to dismantle the network and recover explosives. The military has urged residents to remain vigilant and provide timely information to support ongoing security operations. Still on insecurity, troops of the Joint Task Force Operation Hatinkai have uncovered a major cache of high-caliber ammunition in the Bulumkutu Railway area of Borno State. The Theatre Command said the recovery followed intelligence-driven cordon and search operations aimed at denying terrorists freedom of action. According to the military, troops acting on a distress call discovered 1,270 rounds of 12.7mm ammunition alongside live rounds and power banks concealed inside a drainage channel. The area has been secured with efforts ongoing to drain the channel to determine if more explosives are hidden. The military says no casualties were recorded and security in the area remains calm, with troops maintaining vigilance. Now, security concerns continue to mount in parts of Kogi as 7 members of the evangelical church Winning All Ekwa, abducted by suspected bandits in Ayetoru, Kiri, Kaba, Bunu local government area, have regained their freedom after a ransom of 15 million naira was paid. The victims were among worshippers seized when gunmen attacked the Ekwa church during a service, plunging the community into fear and panic. Local vigilante operatives and community leaders confirmed that negotiations with the abductors led to the release of the 7 church members. However, anxiety remains high as 31 other worshippers kidnapped during the same attack are still being held. Kidnappers holding the Oni of Afin, Oba Simeon Ola Onipekun, his son, and other residents in Kwara State have demanded a total ransom of 450 million for their release. Sources say 150 million has been demanded for the monarch and his son, Olaolu, a National Youth Service Corps member, while additional 300 million is sought for 8 residents abducted from Adonla Iresi in Ifelodun local government area. The monarch was kidnapped on Wednesday night, December 31st, after armed men reportedly stormed the royal palace around 8 p.m., firing sporadically. His wife, Felicia Olaonipekun, was injured during the attack and treated at a hospital. The Kwara South Joint Community Security Watch confirmed that the ransom negotiations have begun, but local vigilantes were overwhelmed during the assault as only 2 members were on duty. The Kwara State Police Command has yet to release an official statement regarding the ransom demands. Now to health. Resident doctors in Nigeria have announced plans to resume their total indefinite and complete strike from January 12, 2026. The National Association of Resident Doctors say the decision follows the federal government's failure to fully implement a memorandum of understanding signed after the suspension of their last strike. In a statement, NARD President Dr. Muhammad Suleiman said the action was approved at an emergency meeting of the association's National Executive Council. The doctors say the renewed strike, tagged "No Implementation, No Going Back," will begin at midnight on January 12 unless their demands are met. They also plan nationwide protests with demonstrations and press briefings across 91 medical centers. NARD says the government has ignored multiple deadlines to address issues including unpaid salary allowance, salary arrears, and the reinstatement of dismissed doctors. The association insists that the strike will only be suspended after full implementation of all agreed demands. And now on politics. Leader of the Kwankwasia movement and former Kano State Governor Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso has expressed deep concern over the growing political tension in Kano State, describing the situation as a nightmare. Speaking to supporters in Kano, Kwankwaso said he was distressed by calls for the NNPP-led government in the state to align with the ruling APC, warning that such moves will not benefit the people. He said he had reached out to key actors to halt what he described as a dangerous political path, stressing that unity was needed for the government to deliver dividend of democracy. Kwankwaso criticized pressures on the Kano State Governor to defect, questioning why APC leaders were targeting the state despite controlling most of the country. He warned that Kano should not be underestimated, insisting the NNPP remains strong in the state. The former governor urged supporters to remain calm and focused, saying internal division would only weaken the movement.
What is happening is surprising, like a nightmare. Some unfortunate things are happening in Kano that some people can hardly believe. For me, I wish I was asleep, and when I wake up, I will discover that what is happening is not true. Since this thing started, I have tried my best. I have spoken to everyone I needed to speak to, trying to convince them that the path they are on will not benefit anybody in Kano. At least, this government still has 1 year ahead, and if we join hands, the people will benefit. What surprises people is, what is really the problem? What happened? I myself am still not fully aware of what is going on. People who do not understand and think that where we are is not good enough and are saying we should leave and become members of Ganjujia. The line has drawn itself in Kano State.
Still on politics, as the 2027 general elections draws nearer, political activities across the country are intensifying, with politicians aligning and realigning across party lines. The ruling All Progressives Congress, APC, has recorded a wave of defections by elected office holders, a development that analysts say could shape the political landscape ahead of 2027. Bello Musa completes the report.
The recent surge in defections by politicians across different political parties reflect renewed alignment and strategic positioning ahead of the 2027 elections. Nigeria has witnessed the movement of governors, lawmakers, and other key political figures into the ruling APC. However, the African Democratic Alliance ADC has also received defectors, signaling that political calculations are not limited to one party. Political analysts say these developments are likely to reshape the electoral contest and redefine party strengths as the elections approach.
So what this simply suggests is that in 2027, Nigerian politics, Nigerian democracy is not going to change from the past. So because it's the same thing that is happening this time around, it's even happening in a worse manner that people are simply cannot understand how within a span of 4 years a whole democratic system of Nigeria is turning into a one-party state.
So it is an absolute desire to control not only the political parties, but also to control the masses of the Nigerian people, such that everybody will just toe in line.
While some observers describe the mass movement into the APC as a threat to Nigeria's multi-party democracy, others argue that the trend reflects the growing weakness of opposition parties.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, it's not that the country is shifting to a one-party state, but that we are still practicing multi-party politics. Only that some of the political parties that are believed to be stronger are now becoming weak. Considering now that most of the former contenders who have been participating in the opposition are bringing themselves to one clique, maybe the ADC, SDP, or whichever political party they are choosing for themselves.
Shinko believes the defections further strengthen the ruling party. However, Alzubair Abubakar cautions that the influx of political actors into the APC could trigger internal competition and possible conflict within the party.
We had Dr. Peter Obi had decamped to ADC from the former party he belonged as the Labour Party. And by implication, this is telling you that in the southeast, the advantage that PDP used to have will now be taken away by ADC, and that will give the APC another advantage, being that if not for this decamping, I'm sure most of those people from the southeast may likely go for the PDP.
But I foresee that there may be an explosion in the APC, because this year that we have come into, that's 2026, is probably a political year. You know that INEC has tinkered with the timetable, and primary elections will be held this year. Once the timetable is out, what will happen is that there will be political maneuvers across all parties and the country. Most of these people that are decamping are thinking that they have automatic tickets into the APC. The contest will come and they will see that they do not have that ticket. Some of them will not have that automatic ticket, including the governors. Then the same grievances will come up.
Analysts predict that more defections may occur across political parties, particularly after party primaries, as politicians position themselves for the 2027 general elections. Bello Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
The ruling All Progressives Congress in Plateau State has dismissed claim by the People's Democratic Party that Governor Caleb Mutfwang's defection constitutes a betrayal of public trust. Governor Mutfwang officially joined the APC on Friday, prompting the PDP to describe his resignation as a slap on the face of residents who trusted him. The PDP State Publicity Secretary, Choji Daliop, said the governor prioritized personal ambition over the welfare of Plateau people and had no constitutional justification to defect without vacating office. In response, APC Acting Publicity Secretary Shitu Bameyi called the PDP claims empty threats and ill-conceived, noting Mutfwang joined the party with key PDP members, including senators and local government chairmen. Bameyi described the move as calculative, measured, and popular, and said any PDP threats are of no effect, adding that scapegoating the APC is total misplaced. You're watching News Hour on Trust TV. Coming up after the break, 7 Gombe residents seek federal state support for Kaltungo cultural heritage. The Samoan return to stay with us. Welcome back. If you're just joining, this is News Hour on Trust TV. In case you missed it, here's a recap of our top stories again. We told you that 7 killed, many injured as gunmen attack Plateau community. And military unmasks ringleader of Northeast suicide bombings. Moving on to more stories. The Trump administration announced Saturday that Venezuela's captured leader, Nicolas Maduro, and his wife will face drug and terrorism charges in the United States. Attorney General Pamela Bondi said on social media that the Maduros will soon face the full wrath of American justice on American soil in American courts. They are to answer the existing charges of narco-terrorism conspiracy and cocaine importation conspiracy in a New York federal court. The announcement follows President Donald Trump's claim that U.S. forces captured Maduro after a large-scale strike in Venezuela. In the meantime, Trump says the U.S. is going to run Venezuela until safe transition can take place.
Late last night and early today, at my direction, the United States Armed Forces conducted an extraordinary military operation in the capital of Venezuela. Overwhelming American military power, air, land, and sea, was used to launch a spectacular assault. And it was an assault like people have not seen since World War II. It was a force against a heavily fortified military fortress in the heart of Caracas to bring outlaw dictator Nicolas Maduro to justice. This was one of the most stunning, effective, and powerful displays of American military might and competence in American history. And if you think about it, we've done some other good ones, like the attack on Soleimani, the attack on al-Baghdadi, and the obliteration and decimation of the Iran nuclear sites just recently in an operation known as Midnight Hammer. All perfectly executed and done. No nation in the world could achieve what America achieved yesterday, or frankly in just a short period of time. All Venezuelan military capacities were rendered powerless as the men and women of our military, working with U.S. law enforcement, successfully captured Maduro in the dead of night. It was dark. The lights of Caracas were largely turned off due to a certain expertise that we have. It was dark and it was deadly.
Now joining us via phone call to throw more light on this is Dr. Yahuza Ahmed Gezo. Good evening and thank you so much for joining us.
Good evening, viewers and listeners. Thank you for having me.
All right, so how unprecedented is the claim captured of a sitting foreign president by U.S. forces, and what does this mean for international security norms?
Well, I think first of all, we need to look quickly into what is the United Nations and why the United Nations, and why the international politics and why the international diplomacy. Now, the United Nations is a cooperation. It's a coming together, it's a combined, agreed relationship based on the charters and signed memorandum of understanding between nations and state of regions come together as a world collaboration and partnership in order to address issues of security, issues of diplomacy, issues of human rights, issues of state integrity, as well as sovereignty of each and every state as a member of the United Nations, and so on and so forth. So Now, looking at the international security, the situation has turned into something else. People keep asking questions. Scholars have been discussing, looking at the America's intervention in Iraq, America's intervention in Iran, America's intervention in many other countries, Libya, Sudan, and what was the result? And at the same time, when we narrow it down to the issue of abuse of integrity, abuse of human rights, abuse of whatever. Yes, of course, even if the Maduro have committed the offense, being charged by the United Nations, by the United States of America under the leadership of Donald Trump, when we listen to the voice of Donald Trump carefully after the attack, the response is given is just that America is exercising its powers on underdeveloped and old nations, taking over the control of the International Court of Justice, taking over the control of diplomacy, taking over the control of the United Nations. In fact, this is just an explanation of the total collapse of the United Nations. Whether it means the activity being conducted in the name of the United Nations is becoming just a celebrity. And all operations of the United Nations are becoming the celebrity because America has declared war against any nation, and that it can do and undo in abusing the human rights, abusing the diplomacy. Despite the fact that America is saying that it is fighting the cause of human rights, it is fighting the cause of recognizing the international community or the state's sovereignty. But what is happening in Israel? Israel have committed so much genocide against Palestinians. There were so many breach of trust and confidence by many other nations against other nations and against other groups. So, but I expect, or we expect, the scholars, we expect the America to have managed the issues according to the provision of law in the international law,
so
in the international diplomacy, in the conventions, in the charters, in the agreement, in the memorandum of understanding, and so on and so forth. So it is very clear that no nation is safe. That is just a clear declaration. It's a new declaration, which I am afraid, if care is not taken, this will drive the international community into a more serious crisis because the other powers will not show their arms because probably they may assume that they will be the next. Russia can think that it will be the next. China can think that it will be the next. So they will extend their aggressive status quo and preparing themselves for whatever circumstance may be.
All right, so Doctor, how do you see this playing out? Do you think this could affect, this action could affect regional stability in Latin America, particularly in countries allied with Venezuela?
Well, it is very clear. Looking at the responses from the presidents of all the states in all that peninsula, it is very clear. They have responded. And their responses have clearly demonstrated what you have asked, have clearly answered your question. All the responses we have seen, we have had, and their comment on their Twitter handles and all other social media, it has been very clear. It has been clarified. A more conflicting situation has been created, a more chaotic, more psychological imbalances.
All right, so from a security intelligence standpoint, what level of planning, cooperation and intelligence will be required for such an operation to succeed?
Well, I think there are three things here. One, the capacity of the aggressor. Two, the activities that have been conducted by the aggressor, which is the United States of America on Iran, the United States of America position on Israeli and Palestinian war, the United States operations in many other peninsulas and many other countries, and many other regions. And also show of force of creating more and more military settlements and military bases in many parts of the world. So it is clear, it's not all about cooperation. It's not all about collaboration. It is all about taking the sole responsibility of taking a forceful leadership control of the international community, of the international diplomacy, of the international politics, of the international relation. It is a collapse of international relation. It is a collapse of international politics. It is a collapse of international diplomacy. It is a collapse of all geopolitical cooperation, among other things. It is really going to destabilize the entire regions, not only the America and the Caribbean and its allies. This will really destabilize the psychology, destabilize the peaceful coexistence, destabilize all the anomalies, whatever you may think of. This attack, what America have done, would have definitely confused and totally sent a signal of a new world order. Because definitely in the next few days to come, there will be a new world order. And that new world order is an emergence of another powers that will come together and probably start building a coalition that may likely drive the international community into a more chaotic diplomatic proceedings.
Doctor, do you see this escalating into a broader military cyber conflict? And what should the international community be watching out for?
Well, absolutely. And the next international committee I'm watching is everybody there will be a kind of a confrontation between the other powers, regional powers, international powers, like USSR, that is Russia, and that of China, and many others, including France. So all these countries and the allies of America will now start asking themselves, what's really going to happen? Who is next? And what will happen? And how will it happen?
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Yahuza Ahmed Getso, for sharing your expertise on this matter.
Well, thank you for having me. It's been a great pleasure.
Thank you. Now move on to more stories. The Minority Caucus of the House of Representatives has established a 7-member fact-finding committee to investigate the allegations that forged versions of recently assented tax laws were unlawfully gazetted. The move comes after concerns over alleged post-passage alterations to the laws passed by the National Assembly and signed by President Bola Tinubu, with the executive insisting on implementing them from January 1st, 2026. The panel, chaired by Rep. Afam Ogene, will obtain copies of the laws as passed and signed to review the federal government's gazette versions and determine whether any discrepancies exist. The committee has 7 days to complete its work and report back to the Minority Caucus, which described the exercise as necessary to safeguard Nigeria's interest, promote transparency, and ensure that citizens, especially the vulnerable, are not shortchanged. Now, residents of Tore and neighboring communities in Kaltungo local government area of Gombe State have called on the federal government and Gombe State government to support the efforts of the May Kaltungo in promoting cultural values to boost tourism and economic development. They made the call during a tourism visit to Pantom Valley, part of activities marking just the concluded Kaltungo Cultural Festival. Now, Trust TV's Adamu Imam reports.
Continue celebrating the rich heritage and culture of the people of Kaduna. The emir took to his toes, as you can see right behind me, close to the place where they regarded as one of the special places here in Kaltungo, called by La Fantoun Villa here. Let's go and see what culture resembles people of Kaltungo.
Pantung Valley is one of the most significant cultural and historical sites in Kaltungo Chiefdom. Surrounded by rocky landscapes and high mountains, the valley offers a serene environment suitable for leisure activities such as swimming and relaxation, with strong potential to attract investors and generate revenue for the state. As part of effort to promote cultural heritage and youth participation in tourism, the Mai Kaltungo led visitors and community members on a guided tour of the site. Highlights of the visit included traditional wrestling, langa competition by Kaltungo youths, and colorful cultural dance performance, showcasing the rich traditions of the chiefdom.
Want an assistant of the federal government, so that from the state level to the federal government level, we want them to put hand in this place, so that the place will be modernized. You see the road. We come here, our chief is even trying to fall down because there is no road. So I appeal to the federal government to make a road here from the road to this stream, so that it will be nice. Even motor, even the governor, even the president can even come here and watch what is happening here. So because of the lack of no road, we are finding a problem to come here. So we appeal to the federal government to at least assist us.
Governments, local governments, if they can find like animals and put them in place, like monkeys, chimpanzees, like just for the sake of people to come and see, snap pictures, make this water to be more than this, like to be more cleaner, and then if they can make a good road, because we suffered on our way coming here.
Speaking at the event, the Mai Kaltungo expressed appreciation to all cultural performers and participants who contributed to the success of the festival. He urged residents, especially the youth, to preserve their cultural heritage, describing culture as a people's identity and a key driver of unity and development. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Kaltungo.
Now in Uvwie, Delta State, a vibrant call to reconnect with cultural roots resonated at the annual Uvwie Day celebration, urging young people to embrace their heritage as a tool to address contemporary social challenges. Jonathan Awayai reports for Trust TV.
Indigenous from Yoruba, Hausa, Igbo, Igala, Isha, Urobo, Ijo, Tiv, and Ishekiri communities came together to showcase the rich cultural heritage of Uvwie Kingdom during the Uvwie Day celebration. Residents expressed concern over the growing disconnect between youth and their cultural roots, highlighting the erosion of traditional values and the rise of social issues. Community leaders stressed the importance of reconnecting with traditions to instill resilience, a sense of identity, and belonging among young people.
And this event every year brings in all sons and daughters of Uvwie in diaspora to come together. This is a forum where we see some ourselves. Within all through the year, this is where we meet ourselves.
Well, the impact so far, we foster unity among the Uvwie people, and most especially the area of peace that will bring further development to the kingdom.
If we value our cultural system and we address strictly to it, we'll find out that the rate of crime will be highly reduced. Communal living will be more enhanced.
I tell people, Uvwie Kingdom, they are lovely people, very lovely, and the land is fertile. So I want non-indigenous to recognize and associate with Uvwie sons and daughters. My Uvwie people, I'm also an Uvwie by chieftaincy that they should maintain peace and orderliness. Because I remember before Dr. a man, Sedeso, the Uvwie of Uvwie Kingdom, JP, before he assumed the throne, we have not been peaceful. But since he assumed the throne, we have been peaceful and lovely.
This is how we do it from time immemorial. This today to display culture of Uvwie. What we just honor the display of culture, so that those that are not witnessing, they will see it. For some time now, they have not been doing it. But we said no, we will revive the culture of the community. So that was why they have come here to display it. So people are so surprised. Revive the culture.
To come together as a kingdom, to appreciate ourselves, appreciate God, and appreciate our king.
Most of the youths are into drugs, and if we can take them out of the drugs, I think we can make proper use of them.
We used to come here with all of us to be attend to pay our loyalty to the Royal Majesty of Uvwie Kingdom, so that to display together with them, to show them with our own our community culture.
Leaders emphasize the crucial role of parents and elders in passing on cultural knowledge, advocating for a balance between heritage and modernity. By fostering a deeper understanding of their traditions, participants believe young people can better navigate contemporary challenges while preserving the essence of their identity. Uvwie Day continues to serve as a platform for cultural unity, bridging generations and encouraging a renewed appreciation for heritage. Jonathan Anwanyai, Trust TV News, Asaba.
Now from Delta, we'll move to Niger State. The state government has announced the reopening of public and private schools across the state effective Monday, January 12, following extensive security assessment. The directive, signed by Commissioner for Basic and Secondary Education, Dr. Hadiza Muhammad, emphasizes the safety of students and school communities. Authorities have been instructed to register all returning students immediately and submit compiled data to the ministry within a week. Local government officials will provide security support, while the official list of schools approved for reopening will be released on Monday. The announcement comes after months of schools closures in parts of the state due to security concerns, including abductions and attacks on educational institutions. Now, Nigeria's Vice President Kashim Shettima has commended Governor Babagana Zulum for his significant investment in education and the developmental strides in Borno State achieved despite threats from terrorist ideologies against Western education. The praise came during the combined first, second, and third convocation ceremony at Kashim Ibrahim University in Maiduguri, attended by the governors of Yobe and Gombe State, as well as the Oni of Ife, who was appointed chancellor and pledged added value to the institution. Governor Zulum reiterated the state government's commitment to education reflected in the budget allocation and announced automatic employment for the best graduating students.
And underlying the most strategic infrastructure the society can do. This commitment has not merely sustained education in difficult times. It has elevated it as a moral and environmental priority. And today is a harvest day. But harvest will not spring from a party. There are the reward of lessons of deliberate planting, patient nurturing, and unyielding care. This day exists because Borno State has spoken clarity and consistency that there can never be compromise when it comes to education, even in the face of adversity.
Which is a milestone, such as this, without the steadfast support of vigilant benefactors. Today we acknowledge with deep gratitude the exemplary service of the Pro-Chancellor of this University, Dr. Muhammad in all arm. His philosophy centered on compassion for humanity has been a guiding light for his tireless work in promoting peace, community empowerment, and interfaith understanding. He is recognized globally We are profoundly grateful for his stewardship as Pro Chancellor. Dr. Andimi, you have laid a formidable foundation. Thank you.
I want to also thank Borno State Government for finding me worthy of the appointment as Chancellor of this great institution. This appointment is significant to me because of its historical significance and the opportunity it gives me to add value to our common humanity, progress and development of our people. Your Excellency, I want to assure you that I clearly understand the institution's vision, mission and core values, and I'm prepared to do my best to contribute to realizing them. I will not let you down. I'm very passionate about education, and the same energy and passion that I'm using to develop my own university as well as the University of Nigeria, Osuga, I will bring to your university.
We sincerely thank the federal government of Nigeria under the able and capable leadership of His Excellency Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Federal Republic of Nigeria, and indeed all other persons who in one way or the other helped in shaping the university.
Now in business, tension is rising in Nigeria's maritime sector following a sharp increase in port charges by foreign shipping companies. The Mediterranean shipping company MSC has announced a 30% hike in import documentation fees and a 60% increase in port additional charges effective January 1st, 2026. The move has drawn strong opposition from the Association of Nigerian Licensed Custom Agents and the Importers Association of Nigeria, who described the increment as arbitrary and unjustifiable. The groups argue that fuel price and foreign exchange pressures have eased, making the new charges unnecessary. They have appealed to the federal government and the Nigerian Shippers Council to halt the implementation, warning that continued unilateral charges could trigger protests and disrupt port operations. Now away from Nigeria, at least 14 people have been killed in a coordinated attack on 3 villages in the Democratic Republic of Congo's North Kivu province. The Congolese military and local sources say the assault was carried out overnight by the Allied Democratic Forces, ADF, a militia linked to the Islamic State group. Local leaders Make Sikivunula said that the 3 villages located within a 7-kilometer radius in the Bapera sector were attacked simultaneously between 8 and 10 p.m., triggering panic among residents. He added that at least 15 people were killed and several houses set ablaze, a claim corroborated by residents who spoke to AFP. However, the Congolese army put the official death toll at 14, including 12 civilians and 2 soldiers. The ADF, originally formed by former Ugandan rebels, has operated in northeastern DR Congo since the mid-1990s and has been responsible for the death of thousands of civilians. Despite the joint military operations by Congolese and Ugandan forces since 2021, attacks by the group have continued. And now it's time for Sport News with Adeni Ajishafe.
President of the Badminton Federation of Nigeria, BFN, Francis Obi, has declared Kwara State fully ready to host national and international sporting events following his inspection of the newly renovated indoor sport hall Ilorin, Kwara State. Obi made the declaration after a guided tour of the facility led by the Director of Sport, Kwara State Sports Commission, Ibrahim Bako, alongside other key stakeholders. According to Obi, the renovation is a clear testament to the Kwara State government's strong commitment to sport development, positioning the state as a prime destination for major sporting events.
I have not seen anywhere in Nigeria before now. And I must also confess that I'm very, very happy. You know, the foundation to any development of any sport
lies in infrastructure and facility. If you don't have those, then you can just forget about it. So seeing something that is world class. I've watched All England, I've been to China, and this can compete favorably with any facility anywhere. In fact, they even have more than most places. So I must say that I'm very happy. And if you ask me, I will say in a very few words, I will just say Kwara is ready.
Obi described the indoor sports hall as one of the best rehabilitated sports facilities. And still in sport, former Nigerian international Godwin Okpara has backed the Super Eagles to lead the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations AFCON trophy in Morocco, expressing confidence in the team's quality and potentials. Okpara believed Nigeria has what it takes to go all the way, though one that success will hinge on consistency and smarter game management. Nigeria faces Mozambique on Monday in the round of 16, a clash Okpara believes will be a defining test of the team's readiness to challenge for the title. Okpara stressed the importance of ball retention and warned against the common tendency to drop off after gaining a lead. The Super Eagles have come under criticism for conceding late goals during the group stage, a trend that has raised concerns among fans as Nigeria heads into the knockout phase. That's Sport News. I'm Adeni Achishafe.
And with that, we have come to the end of News Hour on Trust TV. Do not forget to watch and catch us across all our social media platforms and join our YouTube live stream for more news, programs, and documentaries. I am Fatima Ahmed Musa. From me and the crew, thanks for watching.